Hi friends, my name is Sasha.
And I'm Mia.
And this is the Drawing Club podcast.
A weekly show where we chat about art, creativity, life,
and my cats.
And all of this while drawing a new illustration every week.
And you can draw with us. If you do, please share your creations on social media and tag us in your posts.
Welcome to the club, friends.
Welcome back, friends.
Hey, welcome back.
Next episode is here, and let's start with what we're drawing. So,
yes.
Do you want to start, Mia?
Sure. So, surprise, surprise, I'm drawing another self-portrait. This time, it's somewhat related to our topic, so I guess I will reveal that when we reveal the topic. I will reveal the specifics later, but I'm drawing on my iPad today.
Yeah, but I think people already read the topic in the...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I keep forgetting that, this isn't real time.
It's the name of the podcast.
Yes. So, as you might know, we're talking about feminism today. So, I'm drawing a portrait of a feminist, aka me. Me and myself.
Oh! Yeah.
What about you, Sasha?
Because I have all these art supplies around me, I started drawing art supplies. So just some random pictures of brushes and pencils and paints.
That sounds cute.
And I sketched it with the pencil, and I have Copic markers and gel pens around me, so I think I'm gonna use some combination of those.
Oh, nice.
All right. So, what would you like to share with the club today?
I would like to share some new things that I've recently gotten for my, well, not for my studio, but some new things that are currently in my studio, because I got new business cards made, which is very exciting. Oh. Up until now, I've printed my own, but it's super tedious, and it's mostly been just because I don't know. I feel like if I'm just printing it out, it can kind of, I don't know. I've just kept the same design for at least 2 years or something. But then I thought I want to eventually order some new ones. But oh my God, then I have to design it. So then I kind of never have the time, in quotation marks. I think it's a much bigger deal if I order a bunch of them, then it has to be an actually nice business card. But I got some made with one of my illustrations. And then I just designed the back pretty much, and it probably took me 30 minutes or something in total, so it wasn't a big deal, but I'm really happy with them, and I'm really happy that I get to include those in my orders. And another new thing that I got is a bunch of postcards, which I make my postcards for my shop myself. I print them in my studio, but for resale, I get them printed, and this time I got 20 designs printed, which is super cool. Some of them are new ones, but most of them are just my favorite designs of mine, and they came out so nice. So I think this is not a confirmation, but I think beginning next year I won't be printing my own postcards anymore.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna start having someone else do that, because
oh yes, I'm happy for you. I was waiting for that day.
Yeah, I know we've talked about this.
I want you to work less.
Yeah. Yes, it will give me more time,
at least work less on cutting stuff, and
yes, exactly. Yeah, it will free up time for creative work rather than because making postcards takes quite a lot of time. So yeah. This is very nice news, very exciting. So what about you, Sasha? What do you want to share with the club today?
Yeah, I want to share something maybe a bit more serious, and it has to come with a content warning that I'm gonna talk about some food issues. I'm not gonna talk about losing weight or anything but some food issues. So if you would rather not listen somebody talk about having weird relationships with food, then please like skip 5 minutes ahead or something. But anyways, I mean, I have like a bit of a difficult relationship with food every now and then. Like it's never like a very huge deal, but sometimes I have some weird issues. But anyways, I had this realization the other day that I've been like tired a lot recently, and I kind of like it sounds really silly, but I realized that my low energy levels probably come from me not eating enough. And like when I told that to my partner, he was like, yeah, of course, like, of course. I think I even phrased it like something like, I think I need to eat more to like have more energy or something like this. And he was like, I mean, yes, didn't you already know that? But I kind of didn't notice it, I think, for a while. Like, because I do eat every now and then, but I think I've been so busy with like so many other things that I've kind of like, I prioritize other things and I kind of ignored eating or like eating enough or eating regularly. And then, but only like the last couple days, I kind of noticed that I eat and then I have energy. Like I would feel like, I would feel like today is such a bad day. I have such low energy. But then I would eat and suddenly I had energy. And I'm like, oh yeah, so it wasn't a bad day. It was just me not having had food.
Yeah.
And then I would get tired again and I would eat again and kind of like, oh, now I'm back to like having energy. And also like yesterday I came back home and I was so tired. I just lay in bed and I was like, I can't do anything. And my partner like asked if I want to like help him cook food. And I was like, no, I don't know if I even have energy to eat.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah. Oh, and then he asked me like, well, could you maybe then like load the dishwasher? And I was like, can I do it after we eat? But I was right away, I was like dreading it. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it after we eat. Because even now, like I just can't move at all. And then we ate. And I got up and started loading the dishwasher and it was okay. And I had energy to do it. And I was like, hey, I was just really, really hungry.
That's so funny. I mean, like, it makes total sense because, like, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, but I also sometimes don't, like, recognize that I'm feeling hungry. I just feel, like, kind of off or weird and only, like, So it's not always clear.
Yeah, I think, like, because I do sometimes feel hungry. So I think maybe I have, like, sometimes in life when maybe because of stress, like, my body kind of maybe makes this feeling of being hungry kind of like kind of removes it so I don't pay attention to it. So I don't really feel hungry because I'm kind of like concentrated on other things, or maybe I'm like in this kind of stress response, so these kind of other body functions are like not seen as important or something. I don't know. So I don't like, because I know what being hungry feels like, and then because I don't feel hungry, I think that I'm not hungry, but I am actually hungry. So I'm like, I've been thinking like, okay, now when I'm really tired, maybe I should try eating before deciding that today is a bad day when I have low energy levels.
Yeah.
Because like that, of course, sometimes I just have bad, like low energy levels, but sometimes it could be that I haven't eaten enough.
Yeah. Oh, but that's so good to like realize, because that's something you can control. Like, you know.
Because I know, like, it might sound silly to some people that this is, like, my realization. I know it's, like, it's maybe a little bit, like, to some people might sound silly, but I also thought that there must, like, some people must have felt the same way as me. So maybe, like, if you have had low energy levels and maybe haven't paid enough attention to your meals, it could be like a thing to think about.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. So this is my obvious weird realization.
Yeah. obvious, but not always, not always obvious.
Yeah, it wasn't obvious for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow.
All right, but like I mentioned, we're talking about feminism today, and I think this topic we've had like on our minds since season 1, but we've been a bit scared to make it, or at least I think I have.
Yeah, we've been like wanting to talk about it because it's like an important part of like both of our lives. So, and I mean, I think we've been like already pretty open on this podcast like about our feminist values.
Yeah.
So like it's probably not a surprise to people that we are feminists.
Yeah. It's not like it's been a secret.
No, but yeah, it's such a broad topic and it's like quite serious. And yeah, so it has been a bit like we were a bit overwhelmed of how we would like even approach it.
Yeah.
But today we're gonna attempt to cover some of it.
Yes. And like we were talking before this that we're like approaching it from our perspectives and like from our experiences, and like we're not trying to, I don't know, like be the voice of feminism or like, I don't know, like educate you on feminism, like because it's this huge thing and we definitely don't know all of it. We're still learning, like it's a process. So we're not saying we're perfect feminists, and also like call us out, I guess, if we, if there's something that we say that like we want to learn and we are still learning, and it's, we're just sharing.
We are not experts on feminism.
Yeah.
But we are part of the movement, and we would like to just share our like our history in the movement and our experiences with it.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, like I have to say, like I'm kind of nervous about this, but I'm also like excited because, like you said, it's like it is an important thing for us, and I think it's important to talk about. Yeah. So yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe it could be fun to first kind of talk about how we became feminists. Do you wanna share, Sasha?
Yeah, I don't know if I have like a definitive answer because I think it was a process. So I don't like. Yeah.
Oh, wait, I realized. Should we first kind of give a definition or our definitions for like what feminism even is, what we think it is? Because I guess that would actually be like an even better place to start before we.
Yeah, sure. In case somebody like is not sure.
Yeah.
What we're talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to start with that?
Sure, I can try. Yeah, this is maybe what I'm most scared of, because I don't know, it's like very hard because it's such a huge thing to try and kind of narrow it or like say something that encompasses all of it. But I would say that feminism for me is about equality between like all people, like everyone, like people of different genders, ethnicities, sexualities, abilities, and so on. So like intersectionality is like a big part of my understanding of feminism, and that just means like different kinds of identities, such as racial identity and like gender and sexuality. These all intersect and like affect people's lives, and people are like in different like, how would I describe? They all affect how equal people are, or like what their position in society is. So it's like based on all those different aspects of identity, basically. And also I would say like my feminism in quotation marks is also anti-capitalist, very strongly. And yeah, I think something like that I would sum it up. Yeah,
agree with all that. Yes, so I'm like on the same page, like with the like my feminism is also like intersectional, or like I strive for my feminism to be like intersectional. And of course it like all started with like gender equality, but while like learning about it, I like a lot of things have been kind of adding, because the inequality can come in so many has so many different faces. And also is like people can experience different kinds of inequalities and several different inequalities at once. So so basically what you said, but also for me, like feminism is a lot about learning. Like the learning part is very important for me. Like I feel that you don't just become a feminist and that's it. Because like there are so many things, like because we can't judge everything based on just our own experience. So it's kind of like, at least for me, like being part of the movement has always been kind of like learning other people's experiences, learning like about other people's work and why it's important, and also like the best ways to do different types of work, and like just like a lot of learning and like constantly learning. So that's like a huge part for me. And also I feel that for me, like the very important part of feminism is like the community and support. Like I feel that through the movement I have found a lot of people who understand me, and by like us having this, because I feel that in the kind of feminist community I'm part of, like the support and this kindness and like this gentleness in so many ways, like even if you don't understand people's experiences, you kind of respect them and you're open to learn. Like that has brought so much, like, I don't know, support. And like I feel like that kind of community to me feels like the most kind of comfortable to be part of.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So like for me, feminism is not just about like, it's of course primarily about values, but those values also with them bring like the community and the learning.
That's really good. And I would even argue, like, because what you said about learning, that it like even should be like, I think if a person wants to be feminist, they should always strive for learning more, because I feel like,
yes,
like you said, we need to learn from different kinds of people's experiences, and like, it's so valuable. Okay, so then maybe we can. Do you wanna like share about your journey to becoming a feminist?
Well, as I said, I don't think I have like a time in mind when I remember that this was the time when I became a feminist. But I was kind of like, since I was a child, first of all, I was always very, like, I always felt very strongly about things being fair and like people treated with respect, and like even though like some stories I remember from my childhood like can be like maybe quite funny, but like even like my friend and I would like kind of fight for like some things at school that they were like for example, one day a week we had like a the smaller, like we always had this one long break, which was like a lunch break.
Yeah.
But one day a week we had a shorter lunch break, and like we would still take the same amount of time to have our lunch, and we would be late to the class because we thought it's unfair to like take this time from us that is like our free time that we rest and have lunch.
Yeah.
And the class we had after that lunch break was physics, and our physics teacher was the one who was responsible for the schedule. So we were like, this person is responsible for the schedule, so they should take it. Like, we are gonna be late, and she's gonna see us late, so she's gonna know that it was her mistake. Like we kind of like even it was like our little civil disobedience to the to the unfair conditions.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, like I had this kind of like mindset already as a child. Like even though the issues we were fighting for maybe were not like that serious, but and also another thing, like I had this thing when I was a child. I also always felt this weird like gender roles thing, but of course I didn't really know like yet of course any, like I didn't really know how it works, and I didn't really know that it's like this inequality thing. But I still like I was uncomfortable with the kind of gender roles, but I didn't yet know that I can like decide to not do what society wants me to do. So I remember as a child I knew like that eventually I'm gonna have to become a wife and a mother. Like that's just what I've been taught that I'm gonna be. So I was sure that's what I'm gonna be, because that's like the only choice I get. But I remember I always said that before I get married, I need to be at least 25. So I have some time to get an education, find a proper job, buy myself a car and an apartment. And then I can get married. Which like now I'm like, I don't need a car and an apartment, and I know it's not so easy to just find a proper job.
Yeah.
But now when I think back at it, I kind of like, I know what I was thinking. Like I kind of felt that getting married and having a family, that would be like the end of my like freedom and the end of my own life. So I felt like before that happens, I need to like get myself established as a person. And of course that's what I saw as like a person getting established. You need to have a car and an apartment and like a good job. So I had this list in my mind like that those are things I'm gonna like accomplish before I get married. Of course that didn't happen, and I actually got married before I was even like, I was 21 when I got married, but like now I know that I can still be free and I can still be my own person even if I'm married. Like it has nothing to do with that. So like so I don't really care about those things. But I feel like that was like a baby feminist in me, kind of like I need to become my own person before I like do this thing that I'm supposed to do, because like that's how the world works.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and also I remember I had this thing that because I always was so like strongly opinionated and like kind of like maybe for a girl a bit too like, you know, loud and pushy and like I don't know, like I even though I'm shy, like I'm still, my personality is maybe not like very mellow, right?
I wouldn't say.
And that's also not how like traditionally you're supposed to be like as a girl, at least. Because I also like was brought up in like a religious community, and we get taught that like the woman is supposed to be a wife, and you need to be mellow, you need to like listen to your husband, and you need to be like, you know, very like nice and serving and stuff. So I also remember I always said that like my future partner needs to have like a very strong character, because I have such a strong character that someone like that I would need to have a husband that can like tame me or something, or like force me to be more mellow, which is like a horrible toxic thought. But it's also like I'm when I remember that, it's very interesting that I kind of realized that like I'm not that person that I'm supposed to be to like be a good wife or be a good woman. So I already like kind of what I thought of solutions to that. I was like, okay, I don't like fit in this. So like, how do I fix this? Okay, I need to find a very strong man who will like force me to become mellow. Like,
Oh my
which
God.
I mean, I'm so happy that didn't happen. And like, if you know my partner,
Yeah.
he's the opposite of that.
Yeah, he's like so mellow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I remember those things, I was like, I'm like, oh, baby feminist Sasha, like thinking about all these things already, about like
Yeah.
gender roles and how, and I think like that's already when I started like thinking about those things, like something is not working, something needs fixing, but of course I didn't yet know like that there are like ways people
Yeah.
already talked about that you don't have to do this, you're like. Yeah. So yeah, I think I think that's that's when my feminist journey started. But yeah, of course, when I got older, I kind of was just slowly learning things, and I've always been kind of like for equality and stuff.
Can I like quickly interject because like about my childhood experience with this before you get further, because like I have a very different like experience. Like as a child, I was very kind of unaware, and I was like the good girl. Like I was also shy, but I have always had this thing that I really I wanna please people. I'm a people pleaser, which is like not always bad, but can always like, it's not like always good either. So I think like I knew what was kind of expected of me. So, and I like wanted to fulfill those expectations, and I didn't really like, but I mean, there were like moments that I thought were like unfair. Like, I don't know, for example, like in family events, my brother and my cousin, who is also like a man now, but a boy then, they kind of just went away and kind of were just chilling. But I felt like, but I can't just like go away and not like kind of be with all these relatives and kind of like not like entertain them, obviously. But I felt like it's different for me. Like I can't just kind of go away and chill. I have to be like hosting or somehow, you know, like there are different things that are expected of me than of them, and I didn't like those things. But I was very non-rebellious growing up. Yeah. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah. I it's funny, but yeah, I was quite rebellious.
Yeah, that's
and
so
like,
cool.
And like, I mean, I wasn't rebellious in a way, like I wasn't really like a bad, like quote unquote, like a bad kid. Like, of course there were kids who were much cooler who did all these rebellious things. But yeah, I was rebellious in this like, you know, I had principles. Yeah. I had values. Yeah. And yeah, also, yeah, I think also like, now I also remembered this one story where like, I think it's the first time I remember being like treated worse than a man. Like, of course, I'm sure there were like other things. Like, of course, like my mom would tell me that I should clean my room because I'm a girl, but like,
wow.
Because I didn't have a brother, it wasn't really like a comparison. It was kind of like, just do this because you're a girl. But the first time I actually saw it like in comparison was, I think, when I was a teen and I had this boyfriend in church, and we were like in this church camp, like in this summer camp, and because like we just started dating and we were like very into each other, so we would kind of like be together all the time in public and like kiss and hug and like, you know, be a bit too much in that way. And yeah, the church people didn't like it because we were young and not married, and you know, you're not supposed to be too much like that, especially like when you're teenagers. And they didn't like it, but they, like, one of the leaders asked my boyfriend for a talk, and they talked to him and explained what was wrong. And then he had to talk to me separately. So they didn't call both of us for a meeting and explain to both of us what the problem was. They explained it to him.
What?
And then it was his responsibility to then like talk to me about it.
Wow.
And I remember I felt so shitty. Like I didn't really have like words to explain it. I was like, this is so sexist. Like I didn't know sexism existed, but I just remember feeling like crap inside. Like I felt so disrespected.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. I didn't really like have the language to explain it, but yeah, it just felt really shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah, I would say like I don't really have like an adult story of how I became a feminist, because I think I was just like always kind of learning about inequalities in life like all the time, and kind of like, and yeah, I think like at one point I started using like a term feminist as like to describe my identity, but I think it was like a very gradual, like my whole adulthood, I was kind of like always, I don't know, like I was always kind of politically left, and like whenever I learned about some inequality, I would feel strongly about it, and
for me it kind of all started when I was a teenager, and like, I think at first I became an LGBTQ plus ally. Wink, wink, ally. I guess I was like in a closet from myself. But yeah, like I became really passionate about that because I like became friends with this person who was older. Brother was gay, and like she told me all the things that he was like facing, and I was like, I got so mad, and like we got really into that, and I also kind of was starting to suspect some things about myself then pretty quickly, but then I think I guess like at the end of high school or somewhere in high school, I might have like started like these very general kind of, okay, there are these unfair gender inequalities like that women face, like this very basic stuff like, oh, income equality or things like that. But I think like what really got me kind of, when I really kind of awoke to it really, was when I started university. And I guess kind of simultaneously I was hanging out on Tumblr a lot. And but then I also took, like, one of my friends at school was like, do you want to come and take this gender studies course with me, this introduction to gender studies? And I was like, oh my god, yes. Like, I was so interested. But at that time it was still kind of mostly like the LGBTQ plus like rights and like this very general idea of like gender inequality. But then that kind of opened up a whole thing, and I did a lot of gender studies in my university years, and those definitely opened my eyes a lot. But I think Tumblr was like an even bigger influence on me, because like the internet is amazing because like information gets shared, and also like people's experiences get shared in a way that it's like hasn't happened before. So I learned so much like online, and I still like mostly learn stuff online about feminism to this day.
Yeah, same. I feel like, I started kind of thinking about gender inequality maybe based on like my own experience, but then like the whole like intersectionality part came from from the internet, and different like people from different marginalized backgrounds sharing their experiences. Opened my eyes to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And like the trans community on the internet. I learned so much from them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because like when you're not a part of some group, you basically, even if you believe that they deserve equality, you still don't really know anything about them and about their struggles until you actually listen to them. And
definitely. So yeah, so it's been like very gradual, and like it's a continuing process. Like, just a day or two ago, I learned about like some vocabulary that was like new to me, and that there was like a preferred, like a better alternative to some term that I had been using, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, I don't know, it's like, it's every day.
Yes. Yeah, and things also change because like the situation often changes.
Yes.
And sometimes things change because the situation improves. And sometimes things change because the situation gets worse.
Yeah.
So it's good to also like keep your mind always open and learning all the time.
Yeah. That's a good tip.
Yeah. Okay. One of the questions that I was kind of like, when we were thinking about like what we could talk about, I was like, so I wonder what is like the most common questions that like people get asked when they say that they're a feminist. And I kind of thought about like, I feel like the most common question is, what does your husband think about it? Or like, what does your boyfriend think about it? Which I thought we could maybe like, I mean, not just answer this question, but also unpack it a bit.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, maybe to kind of first answer it. When I met my partner, Ollie, I was a feminist, but he was pretty new to it. Like of course he knew like the basic definition of what feminism was, but he was like super curious and like open and like interested to learn more. And like, because in my previous relationships, I'd had like a million fights about being a feminist, which was like, it sucked. It was horrible. So I was very lucky with like in that regard. But yeah, so I've experienced like both supportive and unsupportive partners in that regard. And I think my family, they're mostly like, okay, I think they try, like we definitely don't see eye to eye on stuff. Like, I mean, like I'm way more radical is what I'm kind of trying to say. Like, I'm sure they're like, of course women and men should be equal, but maybe like not all of the nuances are clear. But I notice that they like tell me things sometimes that because they know that I'm like passionate about these things. So I think they try to like relate to me. So they are like supportive in that sense, but I don't think like we definitely probably don't agree on all things, but they kind of try their best, and I like also try my best to educate them on like, you know, if something comes up, I do my best. But yeah, so it's like they're trying, but they're kind of, you know, they they have like good they're trying. But it's not always the best, but you know.
Yeah.
Not like horrible either.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've been like in a relationship with my current partner since I was like 19. So a lot of things we did learn together.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've always been pretty much on the same page about a lot of stuff. Of course, like some things I learn and then tell him, and then we talk about it. And some things maybe he learns and tells me, and we talk about it. So
yeah,
like I feel that we've been on this journey kind of together.
Yeah, and I love that. Like I love having a partner who I can like talk about this and share this common goal and like educate each other also.
Yeah, and like the people I dated before him, like I was pretty young, so it's a bit hard. Like I did not really tell people I'm a feminist back then, so I don't really have but I like this question bothers me so much because it kind of assumes that if like quote unquote a woman is, I mean, first of all, it assumes that this person is a woman and they are definitely in a relationship with a man. Yeah. But let's say the person who asks, they know that already. Like it still assumes that it's somehow like a threat to a man if their female partner is a feminist. And it's like, it bugs me so much, like, because maybe like, I mean, I know it's like a very old like joke about like, or stereotype about like feminists being women who hate men, like but some people still think that. But also like, if you think like I'm a woman who hates men, why do you think like I'm in a relationship with a man? Like I don't know, it's just but anyway, but I like, when I hear this question, I always want to say like, how do you know my partner is even male? How why do you assume he is not a feminist either? Like why does it even bother you? Like what does it matter what my partner thinks? Like aren't we talking about my values now? It's like I am a person with my own thoughts, and I'm talking about my own thoughts now. Like I'm not now responsible for my partner's feelings, or like because it has nothing to do with my partner. Like my values have nothing to do with my partner. Of course, it's like very important for me that we share values and we do have common values. And some people don't, and it works for them. I don't know how, but it does work for some people. It's their problem or not problem. I don't know. But like, I mean, so it is important for, like, the values that we share are important for me. But when people assume that, like, somehow my values, like, I don't know, like, influence my partner negatively, it's just because they are about, like, quote-unquote women's rights, even though for me it's not just cis women's rights, but, like, that's what people who ask that question, like, assume first. Yeah. They kind of right away assume that it's, like, it's bad for my husband. Yeah. Or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's such a frustrating... Yeah, like, there's so much assumption related to that whole question that it's like, ugh.
Yeah. But to answer it shortly, my partner is also a feminist.
Yeah, I mean, same.
Yes.
And I wouldn't, like, for me, it wouldn't even work any other way. I wouldn't date a non-feminist.
Yes, exactly.
Well, kind of related to that, like, I was also thinking, like, because I've definitely had some, like, negative experiences, like, from people who are not feminists. Like, I remembered in my, like, old friend group, I would get into these, like, fights sometimes with people if I, like... Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I didn't want to fight, but they would say, like, something, I don't know, they would tell a sexist joke, and I would be like, that's not funny, like, why would you say that, or something? Mm. And then it's, like, a huge deal, and, like, everyone, like, I don't know, like, it was, and it's, like, it's, like, a shitty situation, and, like, I kind of... Only when I started, like, you know, when I got more aware myself and I started calling out the people around me, I realized, like, that there were quite a few people around me who, like I kind of realized, like, I don't think I want to be friends with these people anymore. Like, I don't know, like a person who, for example, okay, maybe I don't want to use this example because it might be triggering, but a person who, you know, jokes about, I don't know, who jokes about things that affect me and can be like traumatic for me. Like, do I want to, like, can I trust that kind of a person? Can I like actually, like, I don't think I can. Like, I'm quite maybe like strict with that.
Yeah.
Like with like, yeah. So I've let go of a lot of relationships. I mean, not like solely because of this, but this was definitely like a big part of it. Which like has sucked, but in the long run has been amazing for like my mental health and everything else.
Yeah.
But, definitely like have had like a lot of like uncomfortable conflict situations with people, but also like with people who I'm still friends with, where it's just like it can be so hard to navigate, and I know I've not always been the best maybe at navigating, like maybe like trying to correct someone on their vocabulary or something, or like, you know, things don't always go smoothly even if everyone has the best intentions kind of. So it's like yeah.
I think I've like learned a lot over the years of like kind of building my own boundaries with it, like both from the point of like the people I even want to keep a relationship with. Like I also broke off some relationships, or then I started kind of like, if it's in my family, then I kind of like started avoiding some people as much as possible to like not have to even like because like some of those conversations would be like kind of traumatizing, and like I would leave a family gathering in tears several times, and then I would be like, okay, no, I don't want to see this person anymore because this is like but also I think over the years I kind of like I realized, maybe I learned to also see like which of the conversations are kind of possible, like when a person is open and you can kind of talk about things and everybody learns something, or if it's just a very, very like narrow-minded, bigoted person who is only gonna make you feel worse and it's not worth your time. So I think maybe I kind of learned to also like distinguish between these situations, so I don't have to like always, because I'm a bit uncomfortable with like always having to be like in the position of like educating people all the time. Like, okay, so this person is not a feminist, I need to explain this to them now so they know. Like
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting and not good to my mental health, and like not anyway, like not a fun way to build relationships anyway. And so it's like but I think I'm kind of like always learning to like, because I also feel that I do want to like be a good ally to like groups that I'm not part of. So if somebody says something offensive about like a group that I'm not a part of, I do still want to say like, no person, this is problematic, like should we maybe like be a bit respectful to this kind of people and stuff. Like I do want to like point those things out and like stand for these people, but I don't think that I should be like this educator on all the feminist issues all the time. So I've kind of like been learning to like find a balance, like of like when I can be a good ally, but also sometimes when I see a person is not gonna be ready to hear this, and they're just gonna be very toxic towards me, then maybe it's like not a good place to get into. And of course I'm not saying I'm like perfect at navigating those situations. I don't always know, and I'm sure that sometimes I'm in situations where I should say something and I don't. And sometimes maybe it's better to not say anything and avoid this person, but then I do, and then it's a bad conflict. That always happens, but...
Yeah, same. It's like a learning... I think it's also that is like a thing. You're just constantly learning. I don't know. And like, yeah, but that is also a very good point, kind of what you say, that you, like, we do screw up sometimes. Like, you know, even with the best of intentions, like there's this...
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, like, maybe, like, a lot of people, and I know this, I think, like, in my own nervousness about talking about this, like, so directly, publicly, I'm, like, a bit scared of, like, there's this thing where, like, if you're not a perfect feminist, it's, like, I don't know, there's this pressure to be, because, of course, we're all, like, trying to... Like, we don't want to what is the word? Like, you know, undermine what we're trying to achieve. So it's, like, very scary. There's, like, this pressure to kind of, but everyone will screw up. And like you were saying to me when I was explaining that I was kind of nervous, that it can be a learning opportunity. Like, if we happen to say something in here and someone was like, hey, this thing that you said, like, you know, there would have been a better way to say it, or this, you know, that can be like a learning opportunity, and that can be like super valuable, and not only to us, but to everyone. So it's like, yeah, it's scary, but it's worth it. And it's like just part of the process of learning also.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I can relate to, like, also, I think, like, I am maybe a bit, like, I've thought about a lot of things a lot, so I'm, like, maybe a bit less scared about those things now. But I remember I was really scared to, like, put myself in, like, some feminist places, or, like, in some feminist, like, to join like a feminist discussion, or like or something, because I felt like there's so much to learn. I'm so scared that I don't know something, and I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna offend someone, and I just rather, like, not even what do you say, like, not even participate. And because I was, like, part of some feminist activist initiatives, but I remember when I was just, like, starting or, like, joined them for the first time, it would be really scared, because I felt like everybody has so much experience, and some people, like, are studying gender studies and stuff, and I have no academic background in this stuff, and, like, I don't know all the language and stuff, but like, I still joined, and I was just, like, really quiet in the beginning, and I was just learning and, like, seeing how people do. And I think that that's totally okay if you feel like you don't know enough in the beginning, then to, like, try to learn more than you contribute, and then contribute when you're comfortable. Yeah. And also, like, maybe then it became easier for me to contribute once I learned that, like, it's okay if you make mistakes, as long as you, like, know that it's a learning opportunity. Then it's actually, like, not so scary to make mistakes, because then you know that, okay, this person is also a feminist, but they are from, like, they have a different experience than me. So I might say something that they know is not okay. Then they will let me know. But I know that they're nice. And I know that they don't hate me. I mean, I might feel at the moment, I might feel bad, and I might feel that they hate me. But but eventually, like, I will. But I also noticed that usually people actually don't do that. At least, like, in the circles where I was, people didn't usually say to your face, like, this is wrong, don't say that ever.
Yeah.
It would be more kind of like a general discussions about things where I learned everything. So like I was actually never in this kind of situation. And I'm not saying that I never said anything wrong. I've said like plenty of things wrong in my life, but I never was in a situation where someone said to my face like, "This is wrong, bad feminist, go away." Yeah, like all of the things that I said that were wrong that I then later learned was always like part of like a group discussion or like part of just someone sharing their experiences and stuff. And I would like see someone talk about it and I would be like, oh shit, yes, I do that too. I should stop. So yeah, I think it's of course like when you feel like you don't know much, it can be scary, but I think listening a lot helps know more.
Yeah, that's very good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking we were also talking about, or like we were going to talk about, and I'm suggesting that next we talk about, wow, how being a feminist affects our work, the work that we do. Because we are creatives. So, and we are feminists, and if it's like an important value for us, how does it affect what we do?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing for me, or like maybe the most noticeable thing definitely is like representation, like what kind of people I draw. So I try to include different kinds of people in my art. That's like probably the most noticeable thing. I think like there's definitely like room for improvement, and it's like, I mean, it's true that maybe like 70% of my art is self-portrait, so like yeah, it's white gingers because that's what I am. But yeah, that's something that I try to think about a lot, but also can always do better with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I also think about that. Like, I feel that that's important in my work, and I always think I can improve in that regard. Because when I draw people, I definitely like I could draw like a more wide a range of different types of people than I do. But yeah, I try to think about that in my drawing practice.
Yes. Then also like as far as clients go, like I've done like some free work for some like feminist grassroots organizations and stuff. Like I've done something for this feminist zine called Wanda Magazine, and also I did something for Women's March London the summer of last year. So like if someone was to contact me with like like a small organization that I share values with, and if they don't have like a budget for the thing, then depending on like what is my work situation at the moment, like I do want to take on those things too, like when I can, because I feel like it's valuable and it aligns with my values as well. And also like in general with clients, like my dream kind of illustration clients would be like these kinds of organizations that strive to like create equality in society in different ways. Like I would love to illustrate projects, or to illustrate for those kinds of, like, those would be my dream jobs. And I'm gonna be striving for that for sure. Like, how about you? Do you have any other ideas about how it's visible?
Yeah. I mean, I always like think about, like, also when I share things on social media, I try to like always think of my language, like what I write, what I say. Like I try to be like as inclusive with my language as I can, and yeah, I mean, I try to be like as careful with the things I say on social media as I can, because I know like I'm talking to a group of people. I have some influence, even if it's not huge. So like I take it seriously, and yeah, like my feminist intersectional feminist values is like influence a lot when I think about these things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and of course, I think like all of the art I do, like I do censor myself. Like, I mean, not censor myself in a way that it's not like I do something and then I'm like, oh, this is racist. Like, but just kind of like I always think about like topics. Of course, I do a lot of neutral stuff, but also sometimes I'm like, can I like bring something in the conversation, even though it doesn't have to be like, I don't have to always do art that is like feminist slogans or something like this. But I feel that even like doing something like, you know, kind and gentle and like about like acceptance and like this kind of like self-love or like rest and whatever, like that's also very like political and like anti-capitalist and like you know, so
and definitely feminist, because especially like women are taught to hate their bodies a lot, for example. So like
so like I feel that this like it's beautiful when art opens up these like very serious conversations, but also like if that is like not comfortable enough, I think it doesn't always have to be like super loud. It can also be this like just this atmosphere you create that like also like I don't know, like give some ideas that challenge the status quo. Like even in these like kind of more everyday things. I think that's also important.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know, like I hope it makes sense what I'm trying to say.
No, I think it definitely does, and like that kind of like also reminds like this bigger point of like there's not one way to be a feminist or one way to be an activist or anything. Like there are different ways you can kind of contribute. Like creating a safer space online, for example, like your own little community, or like I don't like, there are so many ways to do it. Like for some people it might be like this very loud, very like very active. I don't like, you know, there are so many ways, but for some other people it might be more this like softer and like there are so many ways to be a person, so there are so many ways also to do this type of work or to contribute to a cause that you care about.
Yeah, and this like creating a safer space is like a huge thing for me, I think, in like every kind of environment that I like work with, like online also, like I will delete comments if they are offensive. Without even like, because I had some, I don't have a lot of like bad commenters, but especially if I speak out on some equality issue, some people will come and express their opinion, and like sometimes they will express their opinion in this long comment and they put a lot of energy writing it. I'm like I feel like kind of sorry for them putting all this energy, because I'll just hit delete. I'm not gonna reply and I'm not gonna even read the whole thing. If I see that you've written something racist, transphobic, sexist, or like really shitty in some way, I'm just gonna like, I'm not gonna even think about it, and I'm not gonna start a conversation or anything, because I feel that like when people think that when they write that they want a conversation, first of all they assume that they like, how do you say, like they're entitled to like my time and education, arguing with them. But also, how about those people who are my subscribers, who they are offending here, who are gonna read this?
Yeah.
Like, I care about those people more than about this hater, so I'm gonna delete that, so my nice subscribers who are like part of those marginalized communities won't have to read that crap. So I know, like, for some people it might sound harsh, because I know some people feel strongly against deleting comments because every opinion matters or whatever. Like, not on my online spaces. Like, I'm very strict about it, and it's like my online spaces are like should be as safe as possible for people from different backgrounds.
Yeah, agree. And also, like, I feel like there's this weird thing where, I mean, at least, like, I don't even consider it an opinion if you're, like, opposed to human rights of some groups. Like, a difference of opinion is, like, should we tax parks 5% or 7%? Like, I don't know. I mean, we made a weird political example. But, you know, that's, like, a difference of opinion. But, like...
Yeah.
Should some people exist safely in this world? That's not an opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. Like, if you tell me that my illustration could use some other colors, I'm gonna leave that comment, even though I might feel a little bit attacked. I'm like, sure, that's your opinion, but like, yeah, if you think that some people don't have the right to exist, sorry, that's not an opinion. That's just hate.
Yes.
So I'm like, and also now, for example, when I actually like have a physical space where I invite clients for tattooing, that's like also like a huge thing for me, that it's like it's an actual space that I want to be like safer for my clients, and I'm also like trying to educate myself also now on like different bodies and how, like, again, I'm just a beginner, I don't know a lot of things, and I don't have experience tattooing all kinds of bodies, but I find it's very important that I need to learn how to do different kind of bodies, and I need also the environment to be accessible to as many different kinds of bodies as I can make it. Unfortunately, like, since we don't build a building from scratch, we can't make it accessible to all kinds of bodies, but if there's something we can do to make it more accessible to different kinds of bodies, like, we're gonna do it. And like, I feel that we're responsible for, like, so in that way it also affects my work, that like, I think if I have a space where I welcome clients, I really think about different types of clients who might want to come here, and I want all of them to be welcome, comfortable, and safe, and like, not judged. And
yes, definitely. And also, like, I think that's what we also try to do with this podcast, and also with our Helsinki Drawing Club. Like, we even have like rules for a safer space that like everyone like reads when they come to our meeting and stuff. So yeah, it's like, it's very important.
Yeah, and I'm like, now just I started thinking about it, that for me, like, one of the biggest things is like kindness and respect, and like that everybody should like feel nice and safe and respected. So also like all of this, like because there's like the stereotype of feminists being angry, and of course feminists are angry because there's a lot
to be angry about.
yes, but like the goal is that everything is nice and safe, and like people respect each other. So it's like the goal is not about everybody being angry about everything. like some people think.
Yeah, definitely. Whew. But that's like that's a nice kind of final thought before our question of the week. Like, kindness, respect towards people of all kinds of identities. Everyone, just be kind and respect each other.
Yes. Yeah, hope you enjoyed our rant. And of course, this is like, we did not cover everything, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope we gave you some insight into our experiences.
Yeah, I hope so
with
too.
the movement.
Like this was kind of a bit scary, but also like really nice to talk about. So I'm happy we did it.
Yeah. Yes, and I think like if we did not explain something like well enough, maybe like feel free to ask us questions in the comments or like on Instagram, like if, because also like I'm sure like sometimes we use some terminology that like maybe is not everybody knows. I don't know, could be at least.
Yeah.
So just let us know if something was not clear.
Definitely, yes, we'd be happy to answer your questions. Okay, so we have a question from Gematis on Instagram. This is actually a question for you, which is why I'm reading it, so I can at least participate in reading you this question.
All right.
But, so yes, here it goes. Do your cats eat vegan too? I really want one, but I can't stand the thought of having to buy them meat. And then like a sad face.
Yeah. Yes, I understand your sadness. And I feel you. And yeah, also like right away, I want to say that like this is a bit of a controversial question and not everybody's going to maybe agree with me. And also I'm not a veterinarian or a pet nutritionist or anything like that. So I'm just a person who has two cats. But yes, no, my cats are not vegan, and that is because I believe that would not be healthy for a cat. Unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately in nature, but unfortunately, like, yeah, I don't think it would be okay to give cats vegan food. Maybe with exception of like a couple cats who, for some reason, are okay with vegan food and are still healthy. But yeah. But I do feel for you. Like I also feel a bit bad in one way that we have to buy animal products to feed our cats because we don't buy in, like, for those of you listeners who don't know, I am like vegan myself, and maybe some people would say you're not vegan anymore because you buy animal products for your cats. That's up to you. You don't have to consider me vegan. That's fine. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have like a lot of disclaimers on this because I feel a bit like self-conscious answering this because I feel like maybe some people are gonna judge me for this. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
it seems
not.
like a topic that like people have very heated opinions on.
Yeah, and I mean that's okay. Like I'm just presenting my my position here. Yes. What I try to do is I like recently, for some reason, like kind of did a little bit of research of what types of, like my cats eat a lot of fish. I do research on like which fish fish species are like what is it called? Like which fish species industries are more sustainable than others, or like ruin our ocean more than others. And I try to buy more of that fish, so there's less of ruining the ocean contributions from my cats. But of course, like I don't give them only that fish because it's like not that much. But like I substitute part of it. But yes. Oh, also, I'm gonna be so like messy on this answer. I think that we people, like as humans, we bred these pets, and then we bred them so many that we don't need so many of them anymore. So some of them end up on the streets and not needed, and now we need to rescue them and take them home because now we as humans are responsible for them. And that's why I took cats I mean, I love cats and I like being their friend, but like I don't want to support cat breeders, for example. I wouldn't buy a cat from a breeder, but I do think we need to rescue the cats because they are abandoned and they need homes, because now they are home cats and they can't survive outside. So we kind of have to feed them meat because we need to provide them a healthy life. So it's kind of like, I feel that now we have to feed them meat, even though I don't want to buy meat because I don't want to support this unethical industry. But also this, like, I feel it's our human responsibility to adopt these animals and provide them with good life. Yeah. Because we caused this these conditions for them now, so now we have to feed them meat because, like, yeah. So it's kind of like, I think our world is so messed up that now even when we try to do things right, we can't always do things right perfectly because everything is so messed up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But of course, like, I totally understand if you feel uncomfortable buying meat. So I wouldn't suggest trying to put your cat on a vegan diet. But you can also ask, like, people who are actually experts in this. But maybe you can have a rabbit or a rat, because there are a lot of those animals who also need rescuing. There's like a lot of rabbits in like really bad life situations that need a good home. They're a bit more difficult to take care of than cats, but I think if you do a lot of research, you can provide a good home maybe to a rabbit who is vegan.
Yeah.
So you can have your vegan but actually, yeah, but if you have a rabbit, you should have 2 rabbits. They shouldn't live alone with a human. They should live in a couple. But yeah, so you can get yourself a couple rabbits and they're gonna be your vegan friends.
Yeah, rabbits are cute.
Yeah, they're really cute. But yeah, so maybe this wasn't like the answer you expected, but yeah, I understand your struggle, but yeah, this is my experience. I don't know, Mia, do you have any opinion to add or thoughts or?
No, not really. I mean, I guess I could, like, I support you. Like, I trust that you know what your cats, like, what is good for your cats. And, like, yeah, like you said, like, this world is shitty and you have to make sure, like, yeah, like, no one is a perfect vegan anyway. And, like,
yeah,
it's not, like, a thing for me. So, yeah. I just, everything you said just makes sense to me as a non-cat owning person. I support your choice. Thank you.
And yeah, maybe also, like, feel free to share your thoughts about that in the comments, because I'm interested in other people's thoughts if you're vegan, but also please, like, keep them nice.
Yeah,
and like, let's not, like, insult each other if our decisions on how to be vegan and raise animals who are carnivores. Like, if our opinions on that differ, let's, like, maybe not fight about it in the comments, but kindly share our perspectives.
Yes, that is good advice.
Yes.
Always, I think. Oh, wow, I think this episode is huge. So thank you if you listened to the whole thing. But I mean, I thought it was very interesting. I hope it was.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yes. And thank you for listening if you listened to the whole thing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
How is your drawing going, by the way? Did you finish?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's like a lot of small drawings. Kind of nothing special, to be honest, but I like these rainbow pencils.
Those are so cute. I love them. They would make such a cute tattoo also.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I love how my self-portrait came out. Why is it all white?
Oh, yeah, I can only see the overalls.
Yes. Well, yeah, she's wearing my outfit because she is me. But you will see it in our YouTube video and on our Instagram feed. Eventually.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
And I hope we will see your creations on our Instagram feed also.
Yes.
Don't forget to tag us
Yes.
in your stories and posts.
Exactly. Tag us with your creations, or if you're just listening to us, like we love to see, like we just love to see it and connect with you.
Yes. And please send us more questions.
Yes. Please do. We always need some. All right. Well, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Drawing Club podcast.
You can follow us on Instagram at Drawing Club Podcast or email us at drawingclubpodcast@gmail.com.
You can also find me, Mia, on Instagram at mia.minerva and on YouTube as Mia Minerva. Sasha, where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram at Sasha_Kretova.
This podcast was created by us, Mia Minerva and Sasha Kretova.
Olli Arni created the theme song and assisted with the recording, and Dmitry Zherbin took care of audio mastering.
Welcome to the club, friends.